since Black Lightning ain't dead. You owe me a death.
Black Lightning. Series premiere Tuesday, January 16th on the CW.
What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, it's your homie Futuristic Mike, and I'm back with a Black Lightning video if you're new. If you're a fan of Black Lightning, if you love Black Lightning, hit the like on this video. If you're new to my channel and this is the first time you're finding me, subscribe and turn on those post notifications so when I post videos on Black Lightning, you get them. Now, the very first episode of Black Lightning is called The Resurrection. I literally never watched this show until now. This is the first time I started watching Black Lightning, and I've been sleeping on this show so much. You know, I love this show. I'm asking myself, where have I been? Because damn, this was a good watch. I swear, this kept me interested the whole time. I was not bored. I was completely engaged to the TV screen. This is a phenomenal show in my opinion. I know a lot of people be shitting on this show in the reviews. This does have a lot of bad reviews on IMDb and some other sites and stuff like that, but that's their opinions. This is my opinion, and I think this show is great. I love this show. I went into this show not knowing what to expect because my dad watches this show, and you know, I went over to his house a couple times like, man, what is this Black Lightning show? It doesn't really look that interesting to me. And I noticed that when I always tell myself a show doesn't look that interesting, and then I go and check it out, I'm completely wrong. You know, I end up liking the shows that I say don't look that interesting. This show completely had me hooked. Now I'm gonna give you all the recap for Black Lightning Season 1, Episode 1, titled The Resurrection. Let's get right into it. Let me just say, I love the intro to this show. I saw a superhero, he was black. He said, "This is for the streets, Black Lightning's back." Hey, that goes hard right there. That goes hard. Now, this first premiere episode introduced us to a number of key players and locations that will set the stage for the season. Jefferson Pierce is Black Lightning, but he is also a high school principal. He hung up the cape, as it were, 9 years ago after his wife, Lynn Stewart, gave him an ultimatum and split up their family over it. She was real mad that he was going out, being Black Lightning and everything. She pretty much said he had an addiction and it ruined their marriage. She couldn't handle him coming in bloody and beaten up after fighting in the streets as a vigilante. But as this episode showed us, clearly they are still close and have a lot of love between them. They're close with their daughters too, Anissa and Jennifer. Anissa is the oldest daughter and Jennifer is the youngest one. I went right into this show already loving it because I love Cress Williams. You know, I love his role on Prison Break when he was the assassin. I love Nafessa Williams. I've always liked her. And of course, I love China McClain. So I went right into this show loving it because it has some actors that I love so much. Now, Anissa is a med student and she teaches at Garfield High School, where her father works. Now, Jefferson Pierce is triggered emotionally when the police pull him over for no reason in the rain as a potential robbery suspect. He was getting pissed off and his eyes were glowing up, but he maintained his composure. At Club 100, he gives in to that a little more in order to help save his daughter because Jennifer ends up going to the club, Club 100, knowing she's not supposed to. She was supposed to be at home, but Anissa covered for her, but she ended up going to this club and she met this dude named Will. And she started talking to him, and then he got called to the back room and they took Jennifer with them. And this dude back there named Lala, you know, he's in charge of the operation. He's in Club 100. Anyways, a whole bunch of shit goes down and Jefferson Pierce comes and he becomes Black Lightning again and he starts taking out these thugs. After all this happens, he zaps the police who again wrongfully apprehend him. As if it wasn't bad enough, the police pulled him over the first time for no reason, and then the police come up to him this time for no reason, so he just got pissed and he shot some lightning at their ass and then he blew up their car. Now, Black Lightning's friend Henderson says later on the local news that that was an act of violence, one that can be construed to make Black Lightning a vigilante rather than a hero. And this all comes after Jefferson admonished Anissa for participating in the protest that turned violent. Because right when this episode first started, Anissa was getting arrested for protesting. Returning violence for violence multiplies violence, adding deeper darkness to a night already devoid of stars. He quotes Martin Luther King Jr. Jefferson says, "I tried to do it the right way." He says this at Club 100 before using his powers to make Jennifer get out safely. And that choice is made clear over and over again, including the time when he ran into Lala to ask him to keep Will away from the school. Jefferson's priority is to handle things as a principal and a pillar of his community, not to resort to violence. When it comes to combating evil though, like when he went to the Seahorse Motel to rescue his daughters, there was literally no choice in this matter. You know, he had no choice. He had to rescue his girls. Lynn, at the end of the episode, seems to finally understand this in a new way. Jefferson has to be Black Lightning, not because he wants to be, but because he has to be. Jefferson Pierce has just been living a normal life for like 9 years or something like that. You know, he's been away from Black Lightning for quite a while, and the city needs him. And Gambi was trying to talk Jefferson into it so much in this episode. He even emailed him at the school. He was like, it wasn't all bad, there was good in it too. He was trying to get him to be Black Lightning so bad. I mean, Gambi builds his suits. He built all kinds of things for him back in the day. Gambi is a ride or die. You know, he's a loyal friend, and I really love him. He says he raised Jefferson like he was his son. This episode showed us flashbacks to Jefferson and Lynn, you know, when he came home, when he used to be Black Lightning, and he was all bloody and beat up and everything, and he had to get in the tub, and Lynn had to take care of him. And she was basically saying like, look, I don't like this. I don't like when you come home like this. We learned that Gambi has literally known Jefferson since he was a child, and he thinks of him as his son. He literally helped Jefferson develop into Black Lightning, pretty much in order to take down Tobias Whale, the killer of Jefferson's father. But as Jefferson points out, that was just the start. Then it was that they needed to take down petty criminals and corrupt politicians, and there was no end. It required a sacrifice that Jefferson wasn't willing to make, which was losing his family. After Will shows up at the school, Jefferson tells Anissa that in his 7 years as the principal, there has not been any violence. Lala says the same thing to Will at the Seahorse. He says in his 5 years running the Seahorse Motel, they hadn't had any violence. In one scene, when Jefferson comes to see Lala, Lala is schooling a young kid who sells drugs for him about being polite to Jefferson, to look him in the eye, shake his hand, and introduce himself. He then roughly grabs him, and he basically tells him that he needs to do better. He then takes his phone and tells him to grab a broom and sweep the entire building. But before Lala is seen as any kind of street hero, don't forget that he pulled a gun on Jefferson for disrespecting him by not using his street name. You know, Jefferson kept calling him Latavius, and Lala got mad. He pointed a gun at him and said, "You know my name, say it." He doesn't like when people call him by his government name. To be honest, I could have recapped this episode real quick, like in a couple minutes, because not a whole lot happened in this episode, but it was still a great premiere episode. It was basically just Jefferson Pierce coming out of retirement. He stopped being a superhero for 9 years. And then a couple things pissed him off, and then he ended up getting back in the suit. He had to save his girls because his girls got kidnapped from the school, which forced him to be Black Lightning. He had to go and get his girls back because, you know, his girls are his world. He tried to take down the 100 in this episode. He went to the Seahorse Motel, and then he visited Lala a couple times. You know, that was pretty much everything that happened in this episode, but I still thought it was a great premiere episode. It was a really good first episode, and I really loved this show. The Resurrection was a fantastic opening hour for the series, one that shows just how intelligent and complicated Black Lightning aspires to be. It's not a regular superhero show, and that's a good thing in my opinion. I really love this show. I can't wait to give you guys the recap on the next episode. I'm going to keep putting out these recaps, maybe a couple a week. So be on the lookout for the Black Lightning content. Keep supporting your boy, and I'll be continuing to bring y'all content in the future. If you guys want to donate to the channel to help support the channel, I got links in the description to do so. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe, and smash that notification bell so you can never miss a video. Let me get out of here, y'all. It's your boy Futuristic Mike, and I'll talk to you on the next one. I'm out. Peace.